Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everybody, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
आगे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajitacharya. Asto Tosatat Sistema, the divine graces from Fanachar. Sara Bachan Rinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Papa Maharaj Keja. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajitacharya. Asto Tosatat Sistema, the divine grace, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Papa Maharaj Keja. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Keja. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Ram Se Kaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Samakund Radha Kamdagiri Gopadam Ki Jai. Seven Dhavan Dham Ki Jai, Samathura Dham Ki Jai, Samayapa Dham Ki Jai, Sanavata Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai, Samatatosa Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vini Ki Jai, Nita Gopinath. All glories to the summon devotees, all glories to summon devotees, all glories to summon devotees, all glories to Sadhguru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mr. Prabhu, it's okay.
Narayanam Namaskritya Narancheva Narottama Devim Saraswati Vyatsata Tujaya Madhurayat Nasa Payesha Bhadisu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaita Naisiki Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Vanchakalpatarivyacha Kripasunabhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Vanda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Suhoditra Vidhadaya Pushpa 1-2 Chiti Chanda Tamona Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're in Reading again, and today we're going to follow your schedule, your Bhakti Vriksha schedule program. And so I guess all of you have this paper there, because that's what is going to be our Paribhashya Sutra. Huh? This is where we're going to rely our discussion today. And the idea is that in our movement we're training everyone to become a teacher, spiritual teacher, spiritual educator. And that is why, that's the whole idea about this Bhakti Vriksha program, that people are educated, people are inculcated with the basic tenets of Krishna consciousness. If someone is saying something, what is your authority? What are you talking about? It's not that you hear the priest, go hear the priest, and you don't ask a question. There's no authority. I had this story. That's some story here. That's some story there. And nobody asks, okay, where do we find this story in the scriptures? Huh? There are 4 Vedas. There are, 18 major Puranas. There's the Mahabharata. There's the Ramayana. There are the Upanishads. So, a story could be instructive, and it could be from a personal experience. Huh? Or a story could be instructive, and it could be from a scriptural scriptural background. So, the whole idea of the Bhakti Vriksha program is for us to be able to understand that we are using a system that is based on Shastra. And the preachers or those who are teaching have to use the Shastra. And those who are supposed devotees, they have to behave, their behavior should align with the Shastra. And our activities must align with the instructions of the Shastras and the instructions of our Guru. That is the check and balance system in Krishna consciousness. Huh? So if someone is saying something, he or she has to understand that it has to be from some authority. So we use literature, we use the Vedic literature, and that is where all these teachings are accepted from. So today we are reading is from the first segment is from the Sri Namamrita. Namamrita is a collection, it's a book which is based on a collection of teachings of Prabhupada based on the holy name, Lord Krishna's holy name. Why we chant the holy name? Who initiated this whole idea of chanting the holy name? Why the necessity? Why don't we just do meditation? Why don't we just go into the forest? Why don't we just do, big sacrifices? Why chanting? So in the Namamrita, it's a voluminous book, and it's a compilation of different quotes from Prabhupada's teachings about the holy name. Nam, Amrita, the nectar, the juice, the ambrosia in the holy name. Huh? Nowadays, the common language is, you go into the internet, you see all of these teenagers, and then they sometimes, instead of even bearing their real name, they say, especially the girls, they say, especially teenagers, 12 years, 13, 14, 15, they like this terminology, cute, sweet. Huh? Cute angel, sweet angel, this and that. Well, when we talk about, see, Krishna is sweetness personified. And everybody wants, that's why some of us, we are addicted to sugar and we get diabetes. We like sweet things. It's not unnatural to like sweet things. Because by our nature, we are coming from an ocean of sweetness. Krishna is an ocean of sweetness. Huh? There's this song, Madhura. And then it's explained, his name, his form, his lila, they are all sweet. So if we are tasting that Krishna's sweetness, we will not look for sweetness outside of Krishna. So the whole idea of Krishna consciousness is to, again, not to negate that concept of looking for pleasure or looking for sweetness, but to be able to dive deep in Krishna's holy name and taste that sweetness in Krishna's holy names. People like honey. Who here doesn't like honey? I like honey. Only in the summer I don't take it because it gives a lot of heat. Everybody likes honey. Everybody likes sugary things, sweets. In India, sweets. Oh, if you go to a home and they serve you milk, and if you don't eat the sweet, it's like it's not complete. They will start crying. Oh, what is going on? It's like you're neglecting everything. So we like sweets. Isn't it? Who amongst us doesn't eat sweets? I don't eat sweets. Raise up your hand. I I don't eat sweets. I'm on zero sweet diet. So, now Amrita is nectar. And Nama, the holy name. Is there nectar in Krishna's holy name? Yes. If you read this book by Bhakti Vriksha, Harinam Chintamani, it gives us the different stages of chanting Krishna's name. From the offensive state, clearing state, like that, in a gradual stage of evolution, positive steps, until you come to the stage where the holy name, you chant it and you don't want to stop it. In the beginning, we are struggling. It becomes like someone who has to be forced to take a bitter pill. The taste is very bitter. But the holy name is sweet. It's just that our condition makes it bitter or makes it difficult. Prabhupada compares it to someone who is suffering from jaundice. If someone is suffering from jaundice, if he tastes sugarcane candy or he tastes the candy, it's very, very bitter. But every normal person, if he sees sugarcane candy somewhere, they will even want to steal it. If they refuse to sell it to the person, the kids, they will even, if you keep the candy, some sugarcane candy in your house, open somewhere, before you go to the mall and come back, the kids must have taken it away. It's so tempting. But that same substance is so bitter for someone who has jaundice. And the alternative therapies, the Ayurvedic method, this Ayurvedic medicine is recommended. If you have jaundice, you have to regularly take this sugarcane candy. Although it's very bitter, but that is a cure. So the holy name might not be juicy for us, might not be sweet for us, but having known that we are on a level where we may not experience that sweetness, that there is a level we'll get to that we will really enter into that ocean of sweetness of the holy name. So we endeavor. That is why we are performing sadhana. Sadhana means practice, spiritual practice. And the practice is compared to like a child who has to go to school. When the child sees the parents at home, especially the mom, who is just cooking and going to the mall, go buy anything, everything, and then come, cook, and then eat, enjoy. Sometimes, especially for the girl child, she's thinking, why should I go to school? Hey mom, you just home, enjoying? Why have to go to suffer going to school? I have to go to suffer going to school? Being yelled at by teachers, given so much of tough assignment. I come back, even the school is not over, I have to sit down, do assignments all through the day. There's no chance at all. No chance at all to watch movie. And you are just home, enjoying. You're not doing anything. I remember I told this story here. I was in Poland, and so the home where I was staying, he was the president of that community, the ISKCON community there. And so they had, at that time, their daughter was 16 years old. And then the mom was telling me that this is what the girl used to say. That, hey, you want me to go to school every day? And you just sit down here? You're enjoying here? So the mom said, if I didn't go to school, you think I would have married? Your father would have come to pick me for marriage? He's a cancer doctor, so he would have come to pick me for marriage. If I didn't go to school, he would have come to, if I was illiterate, Your father doctor would have come to pick me, to take me as a wife. So be wise. Yeah, so the point is, kids didn't want to go to school. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like to go to school. You know? But, you know, as you're growing up, you begin to know the value of going to school. This is also the same thing with with chanting Krishna's name. In the beginning, we think that, why should I chant his holy name? Why? Some people say, it's so boring to chant. As when we begin to chant, we have different periods of experiences. Sometimes people chant for some time and they feel so weak. Yes, so different people have different experiences. But in most cases, we don't experience that sweetness, that ambrosia. We don't taste it. And so we feel very discouraged. I remember even that very girl, because the mom said I should speak with her. I think now she must be like 18 or 19 because it's about like 2 or 3 years I've never been there. They kept pushing for me to come here. I've never had a chance to go back. So the mom told me that one of the reasons she said she doesn't want to chant because when she was a little bit like a kid, like 5 years, 7 years, 8, 9, 10, she was chanting. But she stopped the chanting, I think when she became like an adolescent or something like that. So then the mom said the reason why she gave the reason was that she was not having any taste in the chant. So I said it's a good reason. Anyway, the mom said I should engage her in some discussion. So she was also very friendly, so we spoke. That time we were going for a program. So the mom, her grandma was also in the vehicle. And so we had a discussion at home. The mom was there. The grandmom also was there. We were discussing. So I was asking her why you don't want to chant and all this. And so she raised the same issue. She has no taste. Amrita is not there. So we can use that as a reason not to chant. But if we're intelligent, just like we don't have taste in going to school. The kids, they don't have taste in going to school. But they go to school anyway. Why? Because of the prospects of their future. Because of future prospects, they go to school. They force themselves to go to school. They sacrifice their play period to go to school. So, similarly, we have to sacrifice our tendency to kill time, to while away time with frivolous activities. We have to sacrifice that tendency and use valuable time to chant Krishna's name, if even we don't have a taste. This is the point. Because you may say, oh, I'm Rita, there is nectar in this holy name. I'm not experiencing the nectar. So why should I chant? I have no reason to chant. No, there's a reason to chant. So Bhakti Vriksha could explain, when we dive deep in the holy name, when we begin to chant offenselessly, we will gradually be raised to higher levels of experiences in this ocean of the chanting of the holy name. And eventually we will come to that stage where we will experience the sweetness of the holy name. The danger, there's a danger to that. Because Lord Krishna mentions in the Gita, param dristra nivartati. Right? The danger to experiencing the sweetness of the holy name is that you may give up. You will give up lower taste. So, are you ready to sacrifice your family? Huh? Because when you have that higher taste, you may say, hey, what's going on? Why am I wasting my time here? Yeah, so the point is that these 16 words Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
They are very sweet. They are very, very sweet. But we need to endeavor to pass through the different stages of chanting, from the offensive stage. How many people have gone for a japa retreat here? Japa retreat? You've been to a japa retreat? Where?
Gitanagri, Rokan Maharaj.
So good. How many rounds were you able to chant during that japa retreat?
We chanted 128 rounds.
Wow.
The last day.
Wow. I would recommend that, our devotees, if you want to really become motivated in chanting, you should go for a japa retreat. Now, I remember one of my smaller mentees, young girl, teenager, she sent me, because our family is a very strict, conservative Hindu family, so I don't have any fears if she doesn't chant, because the older sister, she's a pharmacist. I mean, she went to college, come out clean. So, because it's a purely conservative family with all of these samskaras before giving birth to them, so, although they were not in ISKCON initially, but they're very, very disciplined. So, the little girl, she went for japa retreat, and, she sent me a long mail saying, hey, for the first time I chanted 64 rounds. I said, so, why did you maintain it? He said, Maharaj had to go to school. Because they were on holidays. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, japa retreat is very motivating. I mean, it's like it gives a lot of spiritual reinforcement. When you're together with people who have the same mindset, who are having the same target goal, the same objective, then that creates a lot of reinforcement. And it's like, if you even don't want to study, and you stay around with other kids who like to study, who are just about their book, talking about the things they've studied, you'll be ashamed to be around them, so you'll be forced to study. You'll be forced to study, because that energy, I mean, it has some, like what we call, in physics, there has some that centripetal pull. It pulls you to the center, to the objective of that group. So japa retreat is very important, because there you have a lot of chance, people taking up the vow with those within a specific number of days to chant a number of rounds. We hear of Lord Brahma chant, Haridas Thakur chanting 300,000 names. That is like, how many rounds?
174 something.
Yeah. But, a devotee who goes for japa retreat, if you're really dedicated, because the whole period is just dedicated to japa. And if you're serious, 24 rounds is 64 rounds is just. So when you have those type of experience, then you realize that, hey, wait a minute, 16 rounds? That's nothing, I should be able to do it. One Indian lady in Delhi, she was communicating with me on Facebook the other day. I don't really know her face to face, but then they know me because I used to stay in Delhi for a long time each time I'm in India. So, she was asking me some questions, and then she was asking me, she was telling me the number of rounds she chants. But then she warned me that, Maharaj, don't tell anybody. I mean, it's so, because the number of rounds were too much. So I said, and you have time you give quality time to your family, to your husband and your kids? She said, yes. So it's a matter of determination. Determination. So we encourage our devotees to understand the need to chant Krishna's holy names. It is this very holy name that helps us to become stabilized in Krishna consciousness. It is this holy name that helps us, that gives us the stamina to resist even emotional temptations. If we don't chant, our consciousness is going to be different. If we don't chant, even little things can trigger off big things. Even in our families, domestically, the chanting helps a lot to be able to give us that type of serenity of purpose that we'll be able to coordinate things properly, coordinate our thoughts, coordinate our workforce, coordinate our families in a perfect way. So these are some of the side effects in chanting Krishna's holy names. So in this very Sinamamrita, page 146, it is mentioned, by chanting the holy name, even a low-born person's body is changed into that of a Brahmana. Sukadeva Goswami to King Parikshit, my dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material whips, namely hunger, taste, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death, and he can conquer the mind and 5 senses. However, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the 4 castes in the other worlds, in the other words, an untouchable, a chandala for instance, is immediately relieved of bondage to material existence if he utters the name of the Lord even once. Not to speak of a sanctified devotee, even a chandala, an outcast, who is untouchable, is immediately freed from material bondage if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. Sometimes caste brahmanas argue that unless one changes his body, which is obtained as a result of past actions, one who has in the past acted as a brahmana takes birth in a brahmana family. Therefore, they contend with such brahmanical body. One cannot be accepted as a brahmana. Herein it is said, however, that even Vidura Vigata, a chandala of 5th class untouchable, Vidura was born a chandala. But even Vidura Vigata, a chandala, a 5th class, untouchable, is freed if he utters the holy name even once. Being freed means that he immediately changes his body. Sanatana Goswami confirms this. Yata kanchana tam kamsyam rasa vidanata tata diksha vidanina dvija tvam jhaterina. When a person, even though a chandala, is initiated by a pure devotee into chanting the holy name of the Lord, his body changes as he follows the instructions of the spiritual master, although one cannot see how his body has changed. We must accept, on the grounds of the authoritative statements of the Shastra, that he changes his body. This is to be understood without arguments. This verse clearly says, Sajahati bandha. He gives up his material bondage. The body is a symbolic representation of material bondage according to one's karma. Although sometimes we cannot see the gross body changing, chanting the holy name of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, immediately changes the subtle body. And because the subtle body changes, the living entity is immediately freed from material bondage. After all, changes of the gross body are conducted by the subtle body. After the destruction of the gross body, after all, changes of the gross body are conducted by the subtle body. After the destruction of the gross body, the subtle body takes the living entity from the present gross body to another. Buddhi, mana, They constitute the subtle body. Subtle body is the carrier of the soul. So, what this verse or this text is saying is that when we chant the holy name even once, get this point. When we chant the holy name even once, our bodies change. What is that body that changed? The subtle body. Why the subtle body is changed? Subtle body is predominated by the mind. The mind is like a junior or a young son out of 3 kids. A young son out of 3 kids, but he's very chubby. Okay? He's very chubby and he has a lot of physical strength. And so, what traditionally happens is that although his brothers are his elder ones, but he's chubby, so he has strength and he can yell on them. And because he is chubby, he can yell on them. So when he yells at the older ones who are skinny like me, then they tend to be afraid. The man is like that. The intelligence and the anger, they are greater, but the mind overshadows them because he is chubby. And he has physical strength. So he can overwhelm them with his strength. Their superiority notwithstanding. So, because a mind that is engaged in chanting Krishna's name becomes affected, and because the mind is a predominant element amongst the 3 subtle elements, because the mind is affected by chanting Krishna's holy name, the soul subtle body becomes affected. And because the subtle body is what orchestrates the changes of the physical body, because the physical body changes, then you can be guaranteed that even the gross body undergoes some change when we chant the holy name even once. And that is why we have to take the chanting of the holy names seriously. Now, we may say, well, the older ones, we can take the holy names seriously. But the young ones, we don't have to worry, we don't have to bother them. They should just live their life in the way they like. And anytime they want, anytime they grow up and, they can decide what to do with their lives. No, you owe a responsibility to your children. In the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that if you are not ready to deliver your family, your kids, your wife, even like in families where we have, nannies or subordinate, the helpers in the family, even those ones, you are responsible for their liberation. If you're not ready, don't be a husband, don't be a mother. So the children, they are responsibilities. We have to be able to see how we are helping, motivating even our kids to do this wonderful, wonderful performance, this chanting of Krishna's names. Huh? How old are you? What's your name?
9, 10, 9.
10. And you? How old are you? 8. And you? Huh?
8.
8. Shall I tell you? Can I share a story with all of you, you kids?
Come forward.
I'll tell you a story. Recently I was in Edison in New Jersey. They have a center there. Now they bought a big church, so they are renovating and then they convert it into a big mandir. In Edison in New Jersey, I was there for Ram Kata. So after the discussion, during the discussion, Sunday program, so during the talk, each time, normally this is what I do in most cases when I go to places. So during the discussion, I will also, I will engage the people because I like community of inquiry than, pedagogy. Pedagogy means you talk, and then, you download everything, then you just go away. But community of inquiry means that you engage also the audience, it's participative. So sometimes I will ask questions during the talk, and then first I will ask the men, then if they don't know, then I will ask the ladies. But sometimes the men they don't know. Then I ask the ladies also don't know. But I saw one girl, one small girl, every time she raises up her hand. Every time I ask a question, she raises her hand up. Then everybody else, they may not know, but then I will give her a chance and she will answer. So then after the program, so I was going to go into the car. It was in the night, about 9 o'clock when we finished. So I was going to go into the car. And then I saw one little boy, about 6 years old. He came to pay obeisance. I said, hey, come on. This is America. You don't need to do this. I was just being funny. So I was teasing him that, oh, this is America. You don't need to do this. So then I saw also, the sister also came and paid pranams. So then, I grabbed him and then I was talking with him. Then I asked him and then the girl, that time, a lady and a man, they were standing by. So then, I guess that was their parents. So then I was asking them that, so, this girl, you are the one who was answering all my questions in the class. She said yes. Because of her performance, I didn't give my gallant after the class. So then, she said yes. I said, this is a brother? She said yes. So I said, how old are you? This is where hey, come here. Haribo, listen. This is why I said you listen to this. 6 years old. So I asked, how old are you? He said 6 years. And then I asked the girl, how old are you? He said 8.5 years. So I said, how many rounds you chanting?
5.
No, not you. I was asking that boy, 6 years old boy, how many rounds you chanting? He said 16 rounds.
Wow.
So I ignored him. I behaved as if I didn't hear what he said because I didn't believe it. He's too small. Huh? Even me, I didn't believe it because he was too small. So then I asked the girl, how many rounds? She said 16. She's 8.5 years. That also I didn't quite believe because this is America and 8.5 years in America. It will be difficult. If she's 12 or something, because I have some 12 years old kids in New York and other places, in North Carolina, who are friends who are 12 years old, who are chanting 16 rounds. Then I would believe that 8.5 years, 6 years. So anyway, I was discussing with them. Then those parents, the mother and the lady and the man, they were observant. They observed that I didn't believe the kids. That was the observation. So I was discussing with them again. Then again, before I left, I asked her, so how many rounds you chant? Just to see whether they will change it. And then, the mom said, Maharaj, 16 rounds. So that was incredible. 6 years old, 16 rounds. In America, not in India, not in Rishikesh, not in Vrindavan, not in Mayapur, here in Edison, New Jersey. And, from my investigation, the parents told me, and the boy, he's the best student in the class. So, my point is, we're not expecting all kids to be like that, but the parents have a duty, a responsibility to motivate, to groom their children in such a way that they grow with Krishna. And there are a lot of social reasons, there are a lot of spiritual reasons, there are social benefits, there are a lot of spiritual benefits to that effect. And therefore, this program of Bhakti Vriksha, of engaging everyone in studying how to chant, studying the scripture, learning basic things about how to be able to, have some internalized connectedness in our society, in our communities, even in the family. Prabhupada has given all of these instructions. But when we make Krishna the center of all activities, we make the chanting of the holy name the center of all activities, then everything else will be accomplished. Yeah, so this is very important for us. So, from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, text 24. Sa nichayena yuktavyo yoga nivena chetasa. Sankalpa bhavan kamams Tyaktva sarvam asesata. Manase vendriya gramam vinayamya samatataha. Translation: one should engage oneself, this is Krishna mentioning, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides of the mind. Purport: the yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. One should be sure, talking about sustainable Krishna consciousness, sustainable Bhakti yoga, sustainable. We hear about sustainability all over the place, especially in modern, secular setting. Everything we are doing, we want it to be sustained. Who wants a temporary job? Even when you get a big contract, you take it. This should have been permanent job. I was speaking with one of my mentees in China, in Chennai, in India. She just graduated from, one of the universities there as IT engineer. So she got a job with Dell. And then she was telling me that, the job is a contract for 6 months. Maybe after the 6 months, they will permanent her. And so she's anticipating, hoping that they will permanent her. So nobody wants a temporary job. If even it's a nice paying job, we want a permanent job. Who wants a temporary situation? No. So, to be able to have that sustainability in our Krishna consciousness, we need to be determined. This is the point. Determination is an essential ingredient to have sustainable Krishna consciousness. If we are not determined, then very easily our mind could waver away, could actually derail us from even the path of our daily sadhana. It's very easy. So, one should be sure of success at the end and pursue this cause with great perseverance, not becoming discouraged if there is any delay in the attainment of success. Success is sure for the rigid practitioner. Regarding Bhakti Yoga, Rupa Goswami says, Ussaham nishchaya dharyat tatta kama prabhat sangatya ga sato vrite sudhi bhakti prasidyati. Translation: one can execute the process of Bhakti Yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination by following the prescribed duties in the association of devotees and by engaging completely in activities of goodness. This is an excerpt from the Upadhyamrita, a nectar of instruction by Rupa Goswami. As for determination, one should follow the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the waves of the ocean. A sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal, so the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. Imagine a sparrow, to dry up an ocean, like a joke. But we see the result of determination. What happens? The sparrow was able to invoke divine intervention. Determination may not in itself give us our goal, but determination may be instrumental to the invocation of a divine intervention to facilitate our achievement of our goal. This is the point. Like you find, even in the Gita, in the beginning, Arjuna was not determined to fight. He was rationalizing why he shouldn't fight. Krishna motivated him. Until when he became determined to fight, everything else followed. Krishna even jumped down from a chariot to try to stop Bhishma from annihilating Arjuna.
So Krishna even violated his vow. He vowed never to participate in the fight. But because Arjuna took up the determination to fight, following Krishna's instruction, when Arjuna was even in their difficulty, Krishna came to the rescue. This is what determination does. So we may have an instruction from Krishna, we may have an instruction from our spiritual master, and we feel very incompetent, very incompetent to execute that. But we should be determined to do it. Why are we incompetent? We're feeling that I can't do it, I can't make it, it's not possible for me. They just be determined to do it, and Krishna will arrange amazing ways to facilitate the achievement of that goal. This is what happened with the sparrow. Prabhupada is mentioned in the story. Sparrow laid some eggs by the ocean. Ocean wave drank up the eggs. She pleaded with the ocean, please return my eggs. These are my kids to be. The kids are there in those eggs. Bring them back. Hi. Small sparrow, what can you do? the ocean ignored her. Then we see what happens. Is that Garuda came to the rescue. Garuda is the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Then what Vishnu came to the rescue. Why? Because the sparrow did not sit back and say, nothing works. Now sometimes, there are different routes to our destination. I was mentioning this on one of my Facebook statuses. Now, we may have different routes to any particular destination. Just because we entered into a wrong road, which is a dead end, and we say, oh, everything is finished. And then we say, everything is finished. What can I do? Huh? This is a dead end. No. You have to move out, take another route, and get to your destination. Don't sit back and say, oh, nothing works. So the sparrow did not sit back to say, oh, this is my karma. It's my karma now. The ocean has taken my eggs. What can I do? It's my karma. Huh? Nothing can be done. Oh, I have a bad karma. Oh my God. I just killed myself. I should commit suicide. My karma is so terrible. Nothing works for me, You see, all in my eggs, and the ocean has taken it. What else? What can I do? Next thing I do, I kill myself. Because this is my only prospect in life. My children to be. And they are all been taken away by the ocean. The sparrow did not sit back and just lament and do nothing. He said, return my eggs. She said, return my eggs. Ocean did not, undaunted. All right, I'll drain you. And he picked up, he took the courage, she took up the courage and started, what can she do with her beak to take some water and put it on the land. For how many years she's going to do that? For us it looks impractical. But Garuda saw the effort of the sparrow, the sincerity of the sparrow, and he came to the rescue. Garuda told the ocean, hey, return the eggs of the sparrow before I take up her job to drain you. And immediately the ocean returned the eggs. It's a good lesson for us. It's a good lesson for us. So the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak. And everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. Look at it. You're doing the impossible. This is called over-endeavor or impossible determination. You're just over-endeavoring. Sometimes, we rationalize like that. Hey, Prabhu, hey, Mataji, this is over-endeavor, what are you doing? This is impossible determination. It's not going to lead you anywhere. Because if we don't want to do something, there is always a scriptural quote that we can use. If we want to do something even bad, there is always a scriptural quote that we can use. That's the beauty of the Vedic literature. But we have to see what is most appropriate for ourselves, for the community. What would our spiritual master want us to do? What does Papa want us to do in this case? And not just to carry scripture and defend ourselves. The news of activity spread, and at last, Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate toward his small sister bird, and so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow and promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. That's what I was saying. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. Similarly, the practice of yoga, especially Bhakti yoga in Krishna consciousness, may appear to be very difficult, and appear to be a very difficult job. But if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help. For God helps those who help themselves. Yeah. So the idea of the chanting is to help us become stabilized. The idea of the chanting is to help us to become more determined. The idea of the chanting is to help us repudiate or resist temptations, especially our young kids. If we don't encourage them to be able to chant, American environment is hellish. Your child will not go to college and come out clean. If they don't chant, forget it. I've seen so many cases in America. So many, I've traveled around, I've seen so many cases, kids from Indian background, girls and boys. So if they are not motivated, encouraged to cultivate sadhana at an early stage and grow up with that, gradually develop, you can be rest assured they will disgrace you. That I guarantee you. They will disgrace you. With all your good intentions, you'll be miserable. If your child is not upholding devotional integrity, what will you say in the community where you are living, in the devotional community? What will you say anywhere? If you've been a big preacher, your preaching will be truncated because you can't say everything you can't emphasize everything you see in the scripture. Because Papa says so much of heavy things, okay? And if your child is a deviant, you can't repeat those words in strong terms because people look at you, she is saying like this, he is saying like this. They will not even say that, it's what in the scripture. They will say it's you who is saying it. They will think, if they don't tell you, they will be thinking, what is he saying? Well, yeah. So, we have to protect the image of Prabhupada. We have to protect the preaching mission of Prabhupada by ourselves. We may not have a problem. The parents, they may not have a problem. Initiator, they know they have to follow. But the problem is how to groom our kids so that they can also follow that part of Bhakti Yoga. And it begins with chanting. And if the kids, even the little kids, if they're seeing us chanting every day, the tendency is to imitate. So, it's a very simple process of following exactly what Prabhupada laid down. The Bhakti Yoga process, Prabhupada mentions here, that if we follow with great determination, then rest assured. And the point is, I ask you, okay, this is a question for all of you. Okay, this is good, determination is good. How do I get determination? Tell me, yes. The man first. Tell me, how do I get determination? I want to get determination. I like what determination can do. I don't have how to get.
You have to have faith in the process.
I have to have faith in the process. Which process?
if you are want to have the determination for chanting, you should have faith in the process by reading the scripture that yes, it works, and it's going to work at one point of time. If it does not work now, so that your strong faith will help you to be determined.
Good. Strong faith. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, someone else?
In addition, by associating with the like-minded people, like you said, if you go to job retreat, everybody is competing, so yeah, you get
Exactly. Sangha of like-minded people, people who are determined in Krishna consciousness. If we associate with people who are determined in Krishna consciousness, that will invoke that inherent determination in us. Determination is not something you buy in the market. You don't buy in the mall. It's not sold in the mall. Huh? It's not sold in Walmart, in Giant, Whole Food. You don't get it there. And what are the other stores that, even you don't get it there. Yeah, you can only get it from someone who has a strong determination. You will imbibe that determination because it's a subtle element, subtle value. Yeah, so we read the scriptures. That will give us faith, like we're hearing about the sparrow. What happened? Oh, this is what happened? This is what the sparrow did? Okay. That gives us faith. If we're not even hearing anything, we're not reading, and we're not hearing from the kata. We're not going for kata. Sangha, we're not going. We'll not be motivated because the faith is not going to be deepened, and we will not increase our determination. Yeah, so strong determination comes with deep faith. And deep faith comes from Sangha also, association, reading. And the easiest way to have strong determination is to associate with people who have strong determination. One who is having it can give it. I mean, it's like the sadhus, they come to cut our knot of all material attachment, all negative emotions. Because they speak out of love and affection for the living entities. Someone loves you, he says something, if even he talks to you in a hard tone, it's coming from a loved heart, and you just smile, you embrace that. Yeah, that's the work of the sadhu. So we have to associate, we have to have good association, good sangha with people who have that strong determination. And when we hear from them, when we associate with them, when we serve them, we imbibe that energy and we get infused with determination. That's how it works. So, the process of Bhakti Yoga may appear difficult according to Prabhupada. So, get these points clear. It's not that, process of Krishna consciousness is just an easy-going process. Why is it not easy-going process? There are a lot of inconveniences involved. You have to wake up at a particular time. Huh? You have to go to sleep at a particular time. Maybe you like to watch movie till 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. But because of Krishna consciousness, you want to sleep early because you want to wake up at a particular time to do your japa. Correct? So you're sacrificing some type of social convenience. All of these things, they are called social conveniences. So we are sacrificing all of these so-called social conveniences. It's like, trading something lower for something higher. Some sacrifice is there in Krishna consciousness, and that makes it very easy. If we endeavor and we are appreciating what we have been given, then we want to do anything to be able to achieve the goal. So discovery, what are the ingredients necessary for succeeding in our spiritual life? Understanding, explain how we should be determined to continue. Yeah, we have mentioned, that's what we're just discussing here about. Despite all obstacles. And the process, the science of procreation, of bringing forth those type of powerful children is there. in the Vaishnava Samskaras. It's a book written by one of these put together by one of these ISKCON devotees from the Sastras. It gives about different type of samskaras husband and wife should perform before trying to bring a child. So we have Prabhupada has given us everything. Who told you Prabhupada has not given us everything? He's given us everything, you know. Science of living. Not only about science of dying, even the science of living Prabhupada has given to us. Science of living, yeah. Science of family life Prabhupada has given to us. Not only about science of chanting, to chant and become happy, but even science of good family life Prabhupada has given to us. So we just have to take advantage of what we have, and application of this very reading. It mentions here, share some of the obstacles you encounter in practicing Krishna consciousness and how you overcome them. If you have not already overcome them, mention these two. So, and there are some things that people want to share about the challenges they have in Krishna consciousness and how they overcome them, and whether they have not even overcome them. Yes, this is the point of discussion here. Do you do this sometimes?
Yeah, we do.
Yes. So,
Solve the questions.
yes. Anyone to share? Any challenges? Or you don't have challenges at all since you started practicing Krishna consciousness? If you don't have challenges then, oh, wonderful, bravo. Yes, what are the challenges you're experiencing?
When you chant, any challenges? Oh, just look at him and say.
What are the challenges? You have too much, there's no time for chanting, too much time to play, or whatever. Too much time for homeworks, whatever. What are the challenges? Yeah. Tell us. Or if you don't have, or you have and you overcome them, how did you overcome them? Tell us so that other people will benefit from that.
We don't have any challenges.
Okay. But what about you? How many rounds you chant? 1 round, 2 rounds, 0 round? 0?
3.
Huh?
3.
3, that's wonderful. That's great. And you, how many rounds? 1. That's great. All you need to do is to improve. You know? Yeah, at least your chanting is good. It's very good. All that you need to do is to improve. That's all. Okay?
And the biggest challenge with most of the devotees, including me, is like focusing your mind. When you're chanting 16 rounds, like your mind keeps on wandering, thinking about some other things. So, like as we read the scriptures, like you have to try to bring back your mind and try to focus on it.
Sure.
But it's still like,
Yeah. That is the biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems, so to say, that we have in our Krishna consciousness. Because the mind, according to Arjuna, mind is chanchala. It's very unsteady. Mind is always wandering. It's a deliberate attempt by the mind to derail the living entity from focusing on Krishna. It's just a deliberate attempt. Because you find that if you are not chanting, the mind does not wander so much. And as soon as you carry a bead bag, he comes fully armed. He brings this stuff, he brings that stuff, he brings this, he brings that. Yeah, so it's Krishna consciousness is more or less a spiritual warfare. If you're in the battlefield, what happens? Enemy leaves you. The mind, according to Krishna, is our greatest enemy in our conditioned state. So once you carry the japa in the warfront, battlefield, enemy watches you? No. You just have to be in your trench and be shooting. It's not that the enemy will leave you and run away. The enemy will try to even, capture you. But, be yourself, be fully armed, and move on, keep fighting. So it is not that, when you take up chanting, then the mind sits back, because it's a warfare. Once you take up your beads, that beads is your ammunition, okay? Your arms. And so the mind also comes fully armed. Yeah. And how to minimize those situations with the mind is that we take proper rest. This is the point. If you have good rest, the mind is more focused. Your chanting takes lesser time. You have a better taste in the chanting. If you don't have proper rest, then the time for your chanting, even for one round, drags. You will not be able to have high concentration. And then the wandering of mind is more rapid. That's why we need proper rest. You see, if you've been chanting for years and you see these things I'm talking, the day you have good rest, you have a focused meditation when you're doing your chanting. The day you just force yourself, you don't have proper rest, you see that you're dragged. Or the day you wake up too early, you get so tired that the chanting drags for a long time. If you've been using 6 rounds to chant, 6 minutes to chant 1 round, some of the days it could take you even 7 or 8 rounds. 8 minutes.
When you feel sleepy also.
Yeah, you feel sleepy also. And you're not being focused, so the mind wanders more. So proper balancing is required. Again, the type of food we eat also impacts on our consciousness. If we eat too heavy meal the previous night, the next day we will not be able to have agility or be agile to be able to focus on what we have to do during that meditation period. Because the mind will be dull, will be feeling sleepy, will be feeling weak. So several factors are there that we need to guide against. And of course, if we are not being offensive to anyone, because if we commit offenses, if we hurt anybody, it affects our chanting. And so many ways to do that. It might be your spouse you hurt. And it's very common in Indian families. The men, they feel they can hurt the wife and damn her. So what? Isn't it? You may not say yes, but if I ask the women, they will say yes. No, because say, I have so many Indian respectable ladies who are my friends, even in Delhi. And some of them, because we are so close, like I go to their house, before even I sit down, some of them, I know one lady especially, she'll say, Maharaj, he did like this, he did like this. Before even I sit him down and say, hey, you heard what your wife said? Hey, you stop it. But how many Indian ladies have Sannyasi coming to their house whom they see as their friend that they feel so free like that? No, so sometimes the husband will just hurt them and, who are you to say anything? Who are you? The men feel, I'm the controller. Ishwaram. But when we hurt anyone, especially if the person is chanting Hare Krishna, it has an effect on our meditation. Shall I tell you a story to confirm this? Shall I tell you a story?
Sure.
Okay. Now one time in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami was in Samadhi. I'm sure you have heard this story before. Rupa Goswami was in Samadhi, so he was having darshan of Radha and Krishna, having some rasa. So that darshan, that Samadhi that he was in, he was so much enjoying that he was smiling. Externally, he was smiling. At the time he was smiling, one devotee, he's lame. His lips. So he came by and he saw Rupa Goswami smiling. And Rupa Goswami is, Paramahamsa. So immediately he felt that this is what we call inadvertent offense. Offense, someone perceives you commit, but you did not really commit. But even that affects our japa, affects our meditation. If someone just felt you offended them, if even you did not offend them, if it's a devotee, it will affect your japa. Therefore, this is a very subtle, delicate thing. So when that lame devotee came by and he saw Rupa Goswami smiling, so he just thought, oh, because I am lame, Rupa Goswami is laughing at me. What is this? He's supposed to be a Paramahamsa. He got angry. He went. Right on the spot, Rupa Goswami's samadhi broke. He was very disturbed. What is going on? So he rushed to his brother, Sanatana Goswami, to tell the story. What happened. He was in samadhi and all of a sudden the samadhi broke. He is feeling something has happened. Maybe he has offended somebody. So Sanatana Goswami told him that, all right, we should figure out a way to verify who could have been offended or whom you have hurt. So he said, organize a big feast and invite all the sadhus in your community. The person who did not come, the person who refused to come, is the person that you hurt. So he did that. And this lame devotee did not come. The person who came that day and had that experience of Rupa Goswami smiling, and he thought Rupa Goswami was laughing at him because he was lame, he did not come for the feast. So after the feast, Rupa Goswami went to meet him and asked him, what is the problem? I organized the feast, I invited everyone to come. You did not come. Tell me, I offended you now. He said, yes, you offended me. I did not come because that day I came to your area, and you were laughing at me because I'm late. Rupa Goswami begged. Explain to him what happened, what he was experiencing. He was in deep samadhi. And he was having that type of experience. Radha was trying to pluck a flower. She was holding one of the branches of the tree. Krishna pushed the branch down, and he was trying to help her pluck it. And all of a sudden, Krishna removed his hand, and then the tree branch flung up, and then, Ranga was swinging, hanging in balance. So he was seeing all of this wonderful, a pastime, and he was laughing. And he said, that was the time you came. And you just presumed that I was laughing at you. So he begged and they reconciled. And that was how the whole offense was, remedied. That was the case where the person did not even commit any offense. Some devotee perceived or presumed that he was laughing at him. He took offense at his action. So an offense that someone did not even intentionally perform, he had an adverse effect on his spiritual life. I want to talk of the ones that we hurt our spouses daily. Why was a devotee? Who is a devotee? Your Guru Maharaj? What about your wife? We chant 16 rounds every day. She's not a devotee? Acha. This is the problem. This is the problem we have. It look minor problem. Some people don't talk about it. We talk big kata. But these are little things that we should know and be able to improve in our relationships with even our spouses. But yeah, if your wife is not happy, you are generating a negative environment because your children are not going to be happy. Your children are not going to be happy. You go to work every day. Your wife is there with the children. She's not happy. That energy is imbibed by the kids. And they will go to school with that. Or they will sleep with that. And energies when they are transmitted to kids like that, they affect them even more. Yes, so Krishna consciousness is a science, and we have to be very practical. How we utilize this science, not only about going back to God. How can you even go back to God when you're hurting the closest person to you? You can't go back to God, man. It's not possible because even your japa will be checkmated, will be truncated. So how are you going to go back to God? This is the problem. Acha. Right. So there are several things we can do. And the major thing is that we have to see how we are not being offensive to anyone. Yes? Any comments or any other contributions? Or any other sharing about what type of challenges we're facing? Here is a very nice point. The mind is wandering here and there during the japa. What to do? Yeah, so I was raising the issue that last thing we're discussing here is about offenses. That we should avoid being offensive to anybody. Because even someone just feels hurt or felt hurt about our action, we may not deliberately have committed that offense, but they felt hurt and we get reactions. It will checkmate our sadhana. Yeah, our concentration will be checkmated.
So Maharaj, what can we do if we commit an offense unknowingly?
Unknowingly, that's important thing. Unknowingly, like in this case of Rupa Goswami, it was unknowingly. He made some investigations.
But I'm not in samadhi.
So probably.
Yeah, unknowingly, when we commit offenses unknowingly, Krishna takes care. Like, when we worship in Tulsi, we need to have Tulsi that we worship in also in the house, along with our puja. The essence of that is that we circumambulate around the Tulsi, we water the Tulsi. That takes care of, sinful reactions that we have committed the previous day. And also when we pay obeisances to each other, Bancha Kalpatari Becha, Kripa Sindhya, Evacha, Patitanam,
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
that also is a plea for forgiveness of offenses. The offenses we might have committed inadvertently are taken care of. But any offense that we know someone feels hurt, we should reconcile, we should apologize. You see, to apologize to somebody takes a lot of courage. Especially when somebody you think that you are superior to. Take for instance, okay, you do something and then your wife feels hurt. And then you just feel that, she's my wife. I don't need to apologize to her. In fact, she should apologize to me. She should apologize to me. Hey, Mataji, you need to apologize to me, Yeah, so because of the false ego, if we are trying to be devotees, we have to be careful. This is a nice point again you raised. Yeah, so we should also have Tulsi. Those visit temples, you see all of this is going on. After the Mangalati, there's a Tulsi worship. There are several reasons for that. One of the major reasons when we circumambulate the Tulsi, what are the Tulsi? Sins committed unknowingly, mostly are eradicated. Because we commit sins unknowingly, very much. As we step along, we are also killing entities. They are breathing, we are also killing entities. So, it's a world of activities involving sinful reactions and sins. So we can't say that, we are free from sin. But by the process of bhakti, the sins that we commit unknowingly are basically taken care of, especially with circumambulation of Tulsi. Yeah. And if we commit offense that we know, we should approach the person and apologize. Then even the person is your wife. I'm emphasizing the question of, husband or wife, because in most cases, the wives never offend the husband. Because, especially traditional Indian marriages, Indian ethnographic setting, the man is a patriarchal society, and so the man is the controller, is the issuer. And they never accept even things that they've done wrong in most cases. Huh? Is that not true? No, tell me if I'm telling lies.
True. That's the culture sometimes.
Yeah, it's the culture. It's the culture of bias. That's the thing.
False ego.
Yeah, but as devotees we know it's false ego, but this is a culture of bias. This is, the main thing. I'm always right. What are you talking about?
You see, in Vedic culture, when you read, not in our, just say it used to be matriarchal society before, and now it's changed to patriarchal.
Prabhupada told us this story. I told this story. Mira, you know Mira?
Yeah, Mirabai.
Yeah. So one time she was in Vrindavan, so she wanted to have a darshan of Rupa Goswami. So he sent some devotees to make an appointment and all this stuff. And Rupa Goswami said that she can't meet a woman because she's a sannyasi. Can't meet a woman. So, but then again, you find that even the sadhus, great sadhus, they respect people's voice. As great as Rupa Goswami was, and as great as he is still today in our own tradition, Mira responded that, acha, a sannyasi, you cannot meet a woman, you cannot see a woman, you cannot give darshan to a woman. Acha. But I thought that Krishna is the only Purusa, that we are all Prakriti. Rupa Goswami said, yes, you're correct. We are Rupa Nugas, following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. This is the encounter of Rupa Goswami with a woman. Now, how many of us that okay, for instance, your wife comes to tell you, say something to correct you based on the scripture. Hey, you will alarm and say, hey, come on. You have the guts to quote scripture for me? This is how again, it boils down what is the ego. So look at someone who has no ego. Even it was coming from somebody who was apparently inferior to him. He admitted, yes, you're correct. Krishna is the only Purusa. We are Prakriti. So in that way, Mira defeated Rupa Goswami. Do we accept defeat? No. Again, like what you said, our ego is too much. We think we are rightist. We are always right. Rupa Goswami didn't claim to be right in just a confrontation from even a woman. It's a good example for us again to be open, keep our ears open, and we should be open to discussions and dialogue. In other words, if there is discussions and dialogue even in the family, our families will bloom in a better way, will bloom in a better way, will boom in a better way. And our children will be happier to see their parents interacting so nicely, sweetly in the home. Well, yeah, Krishna consciousness is a very practical thing. So, page 33, preaching Krishna consciousness is the highest welfare. The Lord is pleased with one who preaches. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of the people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is present in everyone's heart. Who knows that verse in the Gita? Who knows the verse? So Lord Krishna mentions in the Gita that, hey Arjuna, I Krishna didn't say, I am situated in the heart of each and every one. He said, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Ridajuna Tistiti. He said, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Controller is in the heart of each and everyone. Heart region, O Arjuna. He didn't say, I am the Supreme Person of God, I am in your heart. This is indirect speech. Okay? This is pure indirect speech. Okay? He didn't say, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Ridajuna Tistiti. He didn't say himself. He said, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is in the heart of each and every one. But he is the Supreme Lord. So, the point that is being made here is that if we worship Him, the Supreme Lord, we should understand what is the greatest type of worship. The greatest type of worship is to preach, to speak, to share the information about Krishna consciousness with others. That is worship of the Lord with our intelligence. A puja, physical puja is very good, but the worship of the Lord with our intelligence is considered to be the highest. Preaching to other people. Why? Because worship, the puja we perform in our homes is meant for our purification, it's meant for our own salvation. But preaching to others is being magnanimous to be able to facilitate their spiritual growth and to enhance their going back home, back to God. I mean, we are all prodigal children. And so if someone tries to bring one of the prodigal children of Vishnu back to Vishnu, Vishnu is most pleased. So that preaching is the greatest welfare service in human society. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in activities of the welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Person of God. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, 1868 to 69, Yaidam paramam goyam man bhakteshu abhidashati. Na atashma manusheshu kashi me priyakrita maha. One who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is most dear to me. See? No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. This is wonderful. You want to be dear to Lord Krishna? If you have a wife, you want to be dear to your wife, you know what your wife likes best. You have a husband, you want to know how to catch your husband and then put him inside your purse. You have to figure out, what does he like best? What are the things he likes? What are the things he doesn't like? What is most endearing to him? So Krishna says, this is what is most endearing to me. The person who is preaching Bhagavad Gita, or preaching the message of God here to my devotees, he is very most dear to me. No one can supersede that person in terms of endearment to Lord Krishna. So reading Bhakti Vriksha, week 32, there are different kinds of welfare activities in this material world, but the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. If one tries to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, he should be understood to be performing the best welfare activity. The Lord is automatically very pleased with him. If the Lord is pleased with him, what is left for him to achieve? If one has been recognized by the Lord, even if he does not ask the Lord for anything, the Lord who is within everyone supplies him whatever he wants. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness, since the conditioned souls are suffering from only want of Krishna consciousness. All the Shastras conclude therefore that spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is the best welfare activity in the world, because of the ultimate benefit this bestows upon the people in general. The Lord very quickly recognizes such service performed by a devotee. This is from the Bhagavatam, 8 Canto, chapter 7, text 44, pages 288, volume 3. 81, page 280 to 81. So, and there we trying to conclude this very
meeting, this discussion forum on how to chant, importance of chanting, relevance of preaching to our own daily life, and how it helps to uplift our consciousness, uplift our consciousness of others, what this means to Lord Krishna, how important this is to Lord Krishna. So, any general comments or questions? Any general comments or questions about your practice of devotional service up to this stage? Otherwise, we like to call it a day.
Any questions? No? No questions?
Any questions, Karthik?
I love young kids, so rest assured that you see me as your friend, okay? Don't see me as another swami who has come. All right. All right. So what's the next thing?
We'll do Aarti.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jagannath Bhakti Vasudev Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Okay, thank you. Hey.